what the weather's like across the country, but in Salt Lake City, it is warm and sunny. It's a little bit smoky with the smoke that we're getting from our friends to the west from all those forest fires. But it's basically pretty clear and nice today. Beautiful time of year. So I'm going to do just a quick company update, give you some insight into what's happening right now with the company, and then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. We've got last week, or I guess it was really the Friday before last, was September 11th, and that was officially the halfway mark, or the half-year point, not the halfway mark. Hopefully it's less than the halfway mark, but it was a half-year point since COVID-19 started happening, and we've got so we're officially in COVID month 7 right now. Just give you updates on our company and show you a few slides to show you visually how we're doing. We're still our daily cash burn rate has still been running around between $35,000 and $37,000 a day. We were prepared for that. Our cash position still strong, and we're still on track with our plan. So even though it's a horrendous amount of money to be losing every day, it was expected, and we're prepared for it. In terms of the travel bookings, we had. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Actually, show you some. Get the right screen ready to share. And okay, can you see the PowerPoint slide? Am I showing you the PowerPoint slide?
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. Okay. So in terms of how our sales are doing, this is May through August. So basically, and just the airline tickets only for the 4 months. And I collapsed this into a weekly view instead of a daily view to get a little bit better sense as to how things are trending. They were going, as we've talked about before, they were going up fairly well till the middle of June, right in this area here. Then we started to go back down again. We're going back up again. And so we're in a nice, slow, upwardly trend through and including to the end of August. In terms of how are our airline ticket bookings doing as compared to the travel agency industry, this is the most current version of how the ARC ticket sales are doing for all travel agencies in the U.S. And corporate, it kind of follows that pattern a little bit, although ours has been going up just, I think, slightly faster than the trends on the corporate. Leisure is doing better and had a nice positive trend going into the first week of September. So the travel agencies that focus only on leisure are doing a little bit better than those that focus only on corporate. And you can kind of see that gap there. And then the top line is the onlines, which is the Pricelines and Expedias and so forth. And they're doing a little bit better than the rest of us, which I think ties in with what we're seeing with, people are doing more personal travel. And frankly, it's the kind of travel they do not book through us. It's just the onesie twosie airline tickets for the really inexpensive stuff where they're going home to see families and things like that. And that's doing a little bit better. We're actually in all 3 of these businesses right now. We obviously have a corporate division. All of you are, pretty firmly planted in this leisure area. And then we still have this contract that we're doing with Priceline, where we've got 30 some odd travel agents that are working on that contract, and we're benefiting from that trend as well. In terms of the dollar sales for how we're doing, kind of the same story. It still an upwardly trending trend. If you look at that dotted line, that's and this one I did do daily. If you do the upward trend, it is a nice steady upwardly trend, slow but steady. So that's positive. And then I want to give you, specifically what the dollar amounts look like. So in June, and the Ondavo division is actually growing nicely as compared to the overall divisions. In June, the Ondavo division booked $463,000 in travel. In July, the Ondavo division booked $793,000 in travel. And then in August, this group that we're with here today booked $990,000 in travel. So just maybe a couple of bookings short of $1 million. The nice thing about that was that August was up 25% from July. As a company, as an overall company, including the Ondavo sales and all the other divisions, we booked 10.1 million in July and 10.6 million in August. And so your division contributed nicely to that increase. There was about a $500,000 increase from one month to the next, and your division increased 200,000 of that 500,000 was just the Ondavo travel advisors. So thank you all for that. In terms of what the forecast is, just to maybe share some thoughts of mine on that. That the reality is, no one really knows, right? We're all hoping that this trend will start to do a little bit more of a J upturn than just a slow slog along the way like it's doing. But no one really knows. My personal opinion is that we're going to have that things won't be a lot different through the end of the year. Maybe improve slightly, hopefully, or improve somewhat slow, hopefully. But I think that we'll have better visibility into what 2021 looks like in Q1 of next year, and I say that for three reasons. One is that we will have this election behind us, so regardless of which way you lean politically, it will at least we'll have the election completed, and we'll have whatever uncertainty that brings in the future will be behind us. So I think that is a positive in either case. The other is that by Q1 we should have some visibility into the vaccine. We should have a little bit better idea what that looks like, whether or not that's actually happened by then, or if it's imminent or not. And I think that will bring some certainty and some optimism into the travel market. And then the other thing about Q1 is it's always our busiest quarter. It's our busiest quarter for all of our groups that do, or all of our divisions rather, that do groups and meetings and events. It's our busiest quarter for our corporate travel, and it's always our busiest quarter for leisure travel. All divisions, are generally have the best quarter. So we will find out early on, I think, in Q1 whether or not that seasonal or cyclical trend that we always benefit from is happening or not. And even though there's not a lot of guarantee on what's going to be happening in the next 4 to 6 months, I'm optimistic that things will certainly start to improve by then. I do want to say that we are starting to see some of the fallout, the industry fallout from this long ongoing travel shutdown or reduction that we've seen for the past 6 months. Just with our own company, we've seen of 6 of our top of vendors, we've already lost our key contact person at that company, or a key contact person at that company. Of our 3 top airline partners, American, Delta, and United, in the past 30 days, we've lost our account managers at Delta Airlines and United Airlines. In case of United, they've replaced her with another one that I think is going to be very good. In the case of American, we still have the same account manager. In the case of Delta, they're working on it. We're working with the regional person right now. We've also lost our key account manager for our number 1 rental car, which is National Enterprise, and also the GDS, our main GDS partner, the one that we do the most business with. We do business with all 3 of the majors, but we have had a turnover with our Travelport person as well. Most of these people have either retired or moved on in some way or another. But and then of course at Virtuoso, our our partners there. We lost both Terry Hansen and David Hansen, two of the key people in that organization are gone as well. So we're starting to see some of the, unfortunately for all of these individuals and for us, we're starting to see some of the turnover that's a result of this pandemic. I wanted to just show you another slide, and that is that this is a quote by John Adams, but patience and perseverance have a magical effect before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish. So, kind of an optimistic view of the fact that, if we're patient and we can persevere through this thing, that, that the future will start to open up and look a whole lot brighter and even better. I wanted to also just share some thoughts about a book that I read a couple of years ago that's one of my favorite books. And it's a book called Grit. And it's written by a woman named Angela Duckworth. She's a PhD in psychology, and she did some pretty extensive studies on companies and individuals to track what helped them, be successful. And her thesis was she was trying to test whether it was more talent or more luck. That was the basis upon which she was doing all of this research. And she found out that it was neither, and she found out that it was simply grit. And she defines grit as the combination of passion and perseverance. And unfortunately, I'm afraid that we're sort of in for a good test for all of us on our patience, our passion, and our perseverance. And I believe that those of us that can, tough this thing out with grit will come out, better and stronger.
I did have a comment that just got added by Jamie Jackson. She says she loves Angela Duckworth and highly recommends signing up for her weekly emails.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's really good. I love her research. I love her book. And, I think it would be it's a good one for all of us to become reacquainted with as we are, gritting our teeth and grinding our way through this COVID-19 tunnel that we've all been stuck in for 6+ months now. I wanted to end with just a couple of thoughts and then open it up for a Q&A. And I think what I will do as part of this is stop my sharing. So that I'm looking at all of you instead of at my own slide. I wanted to just share a couple of things with you. One of them is that we're really looking forward to Andavo Connections coming up here in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be, what is it, the week after next? Or 2 weeks after next, anyway. It's coming up soon, and we're really looking forward to it.
2 weeks, October 8th and 9th.
October 8th and 9th. We're really looking forward to it, and I think that many of you have already signed up for that, and it's going to be a virtual event, as you all know, and we're looking forward to seeing you and being with you for a couple of days. I have an exciting announcement, and that is that we have persuaded Mr. Matthew Upchurch to joining Andavo Connections. He's going to be joining us on the first day and spending some time with us. And he's a great guy, and is going to be sort of our keynote speaker. It's going to be in a fireside chat format, so he's going to be actually just talking to us on Thursday morning. So looking forward to that. The other thing I wanted to announce, and we were going to wait until Andavo Mark to announce this, but I decided that we would announce it early, and that is that we are going to be rolling out a new product, or announcing, not rolling out. We're going to be announcing a new product that we're investing in called Revelex Power Agent. And it's something that we have been working on for quite some time, and in the spirit of not announcing vaporware, we didn't want to announce it until we actually had it, in the implementation process and we were really ready to go with it. But we do have some travel advisors that we've lost recently, unfortunately, relative to or because of the fact that they needed a tool like this, and it was, our bad that we hadn't announced this and communicated it to everybody. But it's a very user friendly booking tool that allows even non-GDS agents that don't know Apollo, WorldSpan, or Sabre, or Amadeus, that don't know the native formats. It allows them to easily book air, car, hotel, even tours and cruises and other things. And it's a worldwide, global, world-class rather, global enterprise software system that we're going to roll out and make available to all of you. Now, many of you are already GDS trained, and so it may not be as much of an advantage to you, but I think it'll be an advantage to everybody. And those of you that have sub-agents working under you, that have a people that assistants or other agents that work under you that don't have the GDS skills, will be able to use this platform to easily book all types of travel. Those of you that don't have the GDS skills, and will be able to use it. And frankly, those of you that have the GDS skills may find out that you love this platform. It's a global company that's been in business for more than 20 years. It's a true, tried and tested platform. It's very expensive. One of the reasons that we haven't rolled it out sooner than we have is that we've been in a negotiating stage with them for a number of months, quite a few months actually, and we're trying to fine-tune those negotiations and to make sure we can get the best deal we can, because it's very expensive. But we are absolutely making an investment in this platform, and wanted to just tease that up more about it at Andavo Connections. With that, I'll open it up for Q&A and ask you what questions you have. And if you want to just drop them into the chat channel, that might be the easiest way to do it. And I'll just pay attention. So, okay. All right. Love Angela Duckworth. Thank you again for that. Kay Merrill, great to have Matthew. You're welcome. We were very pleased to get that confirmed as well recently. Any questions that anybody has about any of these, or about any of the things I've talked about, or anything that I haven't talked about?
And you guys can jump off mute if you want to.
Yeah, you can ask me, or you can, drop it into the chat channel, whichever you prefer.
There's a comment that just came in.
Okay, go ahead. Whoever it is, go ahead and tell us something that Matthew Upchurch said. I can't see who that's from.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, I was attending a conference call, one of these meetings for Argentina, and Matthew showed up, and he said something that was really enlightening in a way. I mean, he began by telling us this is the first time it's ever happened in the world, in which all borders closed, which is kind of something, a little eye-opening. In fact, that we're living something that's never ever happened before. But the next thing he said, which is really interesting, I thought at least, is how these pandemics tend to accelerate change. It's change that was already happening, but it's just accelerating it, and these always happen. So if it's going down, it's going down, probably going to be going down anyway, or trend was leaving. But those things that were coming are happening more, like these meetings that we have now online. So I thought it was interesting to kind of use that knowledge to think about where is our industry going to.
Well, it's certainly, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that with us. And it's absolutely true. Everyone is saying that, that the digital transformation that was taking place already before this happened, that we got 2 years of digital transformation, change management done in 2 months. Basically in March and April, we did what would have likely happened over the next 2+ years, but we did in 60 days. And I think you're absolutely right. I know in our case, we haven't talked a lot about, the things that we're investing in, but we've actually got 7 major technology platforms that we're investing in right now. And this RevelX makes number 8. And so we've got 8 major investments that we're making to transform our entire company. And we're doing all those right now while transactions are low and business is low, and we've got the people and the resources to, and it's going to speed up. You're seeing one of the 8 was moving from Zoom to Teams, and you're seeing that today, right? And looks like we've got, 40-ish of you, on the call right now that have figured out how to use Teams today. So we're speeding up the digital transformation. Sure. Colette says she's just learning to use this crazy thing, so I think she's probably talking about Travelport. Yeah, just learning to use it. Now we're going to give her the tool that she needed all along to have it be simple and easy, and you can book anything anywhere and have anybody that assists you do the same thing. Yeah, sorry about that, Colette. Okay, Kirsten, can you answer Jamie's question about AndavoConnect?
And for
the agenda.
Okay, the agenda for the 2 days. What we're looking at is really not starting any earlier than 8 a.m. Pacific time. So on Thursday and Friday, that's both days will start no earlier than 8 a.m. Pacific time. We are looking on Friday, Kristen Duvall, who is with Hidden Doorways. She is now a registered yoga instructor. So she will be doing a yoga session for us that morning for anyone that wants to participate. And then we will start the meeting after that. So we will have that agenda about a bit more. We've got, I can tell you kind of our list of vendors that will be there. We will have Hidden Doorways, Abercrombie and Kent, Marriott Luxury Brands, Regent, Seven Seas. We will have Bob Douglin from ASTA, Banyan Tours, Mikado Safaris, Waldorf Astoria at Pedregal, Costa Rican Trails, a hotel in Spain, Finca Courtesan, and from London, the Beaumont Hotel. So we do have a good collection of vendors that will be there for our Friday vendor event. It will be a little bit different this year, and we'll break you into small groups and do the networking sessions rather than one-on-one. And then we've got breakout sessions on Thursday that will be sharing of best practices, an update with TravelX on travel insurance, and then a session with Virtuoso on their Wanderlist program and how that has been adapted and migrated into the system that they have today. So if there is anyone that is not already registered to go, please let me know right away so we can get you added into that. And then I'm also looking at what we've got on the chats coming in. For RevelX, we will have more information on running or rolling that out as we get a little bit closer. As Mike said, we're still in the negotiations of the final pricing of it. So we will have more information on that. And question on, will RevelX include the capability to invoice with Andavo, or is it just for booking with invoicing still separate? So with RevelX, it is taking the aircar hotel, the GDS booking transactions, and putting them into an online environment. And so as you will do an invoice through it, but it would be similar to what you would do in a GDS to invoice an airline ticket or a hotel booking. You will not then also need to enter it into client base for invoicing.
Well,
so
it'll
not
be integrated. Yeah, it'll all be integrated, so it's end to end and simple. I'd like to thank you, Kirsten. I'd like to just follow up on Meredith's comment that it's an investment in our futures. All these things that we're doing is an investment in our future as a company. So I will just share just sort of a philosophical view of of capital allocation with you. And there are, Camille and I have been, building and running this company for 30 years. And as we go through this challenging time right now, and we have, to make sure that we protect our cash and invest it properly and so forth, there's basically three key things that we are looking at and thinking about and talking about all the time. One of them, there's three ways we could spend our capital. One of them is to just simply hire, continue to employ and pay as many people as possible. The second is to invest in tools and things to reinvent ourselves for our future. So invest in things for our future. And the third is to leave the money in the bank and make sure that we have a future. Make sure that we have enough cash to get through this terrible economic downturn and come out on the other end. And we are really committed to all three. We're doing our very best. We've still got, more than 150 people working for us, even though our revenue is just a fraction of what it was 6 months ago. It's running, maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 10% of what it was 6 months ago. We've still got well more than 50% of our team, employed and coming to work every day with 10% of the revenue. We are investing in all kinds of things right now for our future with, big investments with, Revolex being, one of the bigger investments that we're making actually for our independent contractor network. And we are also being very cautious to make sure that we don't spend all the money and not have enough to get out on the other end. And so we're really working hard to, in a very prudent and intelligent way, allocate capital between those three things simultaneously. Our people, our future, and our technology and tools to make our future better, and making sure that we have the liquidity to have a future. We're doing all three simultaneously, and we had a plan that we developed 6 months ago. We're actually ahead of the sales, or behind schedule from what we had maybe hoped for, the recovery, but our cash is actually ahead of schedule because we have been so diligent at cutting out everything possible that we could, and making sure and raising more capital to make sure that we have it. So I have a very optimistic view of the future, even though it is very uncertain right now as to how this thing's going to play out. I'm very optimistic that we're going to be better and stronger and be here for all of you in the future. I think Kirsten sort of answered the Revolex questions, and more to come on that. Stay tuned. We didn't want to announce this in advance because I just hate to announce things that aren't real, but we are absolutely going to buy this, and we're just in final negotiations for the contractual side right now. And we got part of that worked out on Friday, by the way. We got we crossed a big financial hurdle on Friday in the negotiations. Okay, we love Kirsten's necklace. Thank you.
Terry, you're so funny. Thank you. That's why I tell you guys, I have to get ready and dressed for work and jewelry and lipstick. So you guys see it every Monday.
Does this count if I show up in a black t-shirt every day? Does that even count as getting dressed for work?
It does.
What questions do you have? I mean, I know that you guys are going to have a discussion, that with amongst all of you, and so I want to, I don't want to interrupt too much of your time, but I want to make sure I answer any questions that anybody has about our mutual future. Well, if there's no more questions, then I'm going to just let you guys have your discussion together to catch up with each other. And as I said, most importantly, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Greatly appreciate what all of you are doing, and hang in there, and with grit and patience and passion and perseverance. And let's get through this together. Thank you all, and I'll probably see you next at Andavo Connections.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Camille says thank you as well.
And so I did want to just stay on for a couple more minutes and just let you guys know that, again, if you've not already registered for AndavoMart, or Andavo Connections, let me know right away so I can get you added into that and make sure that we've got you listed for all the breakout sessions and networking sessions. So still very excited that we do have some vendors that are wanting to participate. I did leave one off. I didn't say one and only. One and only will be there as well. Then we've got a great list of vendors that are participating. And again, we will, even though it's in a virtual world, we will have a good time networking together. Terry, I had sent out an email, it's actually a survey. If you completed that survey stating that you would be attending, and you gave me an address, then I have your information. This year, with it being virtual, we did not have an actual registration site, but I will go back and I actually need to follow up with everybody that has been registered. So I will let you know for sure whether I see you on that list or not. Colette saying, wondering if there would be a sort of test run for AndavoMart prior to the start. We are doing some test runs for Andavo Connections, rebranded the name now. Andavo Connections will have test runs with our vendors who will be presenting. So I know that we will be doing that, but we won't have any kind of a test run for our advisors, but we will have tested it enough with our staff and the suppliers beforehand. And then I will have more information getting sent out to everybody that is attending on links. This should be, for those of you that attended Virtuoso Travel Week and you were in a general session and then you had your breakouts or your one-on-ones, it will be a little bit different from that, but you really don't need to do anything other than log in at the beginning of the day, and all of the programming is behind the scenes of when you go into a breakout session and when you come back into the general group. And so that is all being programmed by the event company that we're using. So you'll just have the one link to get started, and then behind the scenes is where all of the spider web of controls is going on. Don't see any other questions or comments that have come in. I am really excited for RevelX to get rolled out. I think this has been a much needed piece of technology for a long time. Meredith and I have been requesting something for our non-GDS advisors, and I think this is finally a good solution that's out there. Travelport had their Rooms and More tool that we had rolled out several years ago, and it was just cumbersome and not very user-friendly, and it has come a long ways. This is a different company that has now programmed the online tool for Travelport. So it is an online experience, but it is pulling GDS content. So you'll have access to the airline contracts. All of our hotel programs will be loaded in it as well. And then it will sit within our WorldSpan system. So there'll be somebody monitoring schedule changes and exchanges. That will all be worked out as well. David will still be here. There isn't anything changing with David. So he'll still be our international air desk for those of you that use David. But RevelX will allow you to go online and do flight searches, hotel searches, and then you can book as well if you want. But for more complex international tickets, you may still want to work with David on those. Meredith, about how many do we have attending Connection so far? Right now we have about 75 people that are attending. So we do have a very good turnout this year. It's really very exciting, and would love to have all of you joining us. And I don't see anything else coming through. So again, if you did complete the Survey Monkey stating that you would be there and inputting your address, your home address, then I do have you down, but I will get with everybody to let you know whether you have registered, and just so that you know that I do have you on the list. And some of you did not enter your complete address. You had only put the street address. And so I'll be contacting you to get the full mailing address. And again, we're shipping out something to each person that is attending. And so we want to make sure we've got a good shipping address, not a PO box. Any other questions? Will Revel-X replace Axis? Two very completely different things. So if you use Axis now for your itinerary management, I would say you'd continue to use that. You would be able to take the information from Revel-X and build out an Axis itinerary, but the Revel-X is not a replacement whatsoever to Axis. So you would still want to use that if that's what you're sending out with the link and the mobile app for your clients. Revel-X is really just your ability to book the air and hotel. It does have the ability to book cruise. However, Meredith and I, in looking at this, still feel that the Virtuoso Cruise tool is superior to it, because you have information on the Virtuoso cruises and which cruises are hosted sailings. So I think that is still a good place for all-round information. But you will be able to book those, especially those of you that have been using David for your international. This gives you a good opportunity to book some of those domestic flights as well, and certainly for the hotel searches. And it does not replace a client base either. So we will still have client base. So those of you that would be booking a cruise, that you would book it through Cruising Power, you would still go into client base and do the res card and invoice it there. Thoughts about being able to accept passengers' Amex miles. This would not be a solution for that. It would be, form of payment's going to be credit card. For Amex miles, Meredith, do we still have that? I'm trying to think of what it is.
It's American Express Agency Services Desk.
Agency Services?
Yes, we
okay.
do. We do have a number, and if you don't have access to that number, contact me and I'll send it to you. Haven't used it in a while, so I'm assuming it's still there.
So hopefully you guys have found the Teams platform to be easy to navigate to get onto our calls. The chat works much the same, but you do have little emoticons that you can put in as well. And up at the top, you can raise your hand. So if you were ever any time that you wanted to raise your hand to ask a question, you could do that as well. So this is the new platform. I did send out that invite. I will continue to send out reminders before we have the Monday calls. And oh, you know, Gail just asked, can you send a message out to just certain people, or does it go to all? I have not played around with the chat feature, and I am not seeing that you have the ability to send a meeting or a note to somebody individually without it going to the, you know, like a private message. But that is something that I would look at as well and see if I can find an answer to. I'm not seeing anything. I'm just looking down at the bottom. Yeah, I don't see an option. I'll check into that, Gail, and let you know. And Cheryl, sorry you had some problems, but I'm glad that you were able to get joined in. Okay, well, I'm going to end it there. So thank you all for joining, and I really appreciate seeing all of your faces. Thank you for your questions and comments to Mike. I will follow up with everyone regarding Andavo Connections. And then for those of you that are using this new Teams platform that are on our phone system, we will continue to work through some of the functionality with you. I know Allie, Meredith, and I have met with quite a few of you already, and we will continue to reach out to you, but let us know if you're having any challenges as well. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you all soon.